we just start, guy. We just start. So first they enter, right, and you just fight them, and that was great. That was great. I love the bandana thing. He's getting into it. Some nice basic action. Yeah, and of course all the rivals joins them and so on. Right? That was pretty cool. But I love that wall. Yeah, the whole the gate is an actual Atmosym 2. And when that guy was getting killed there, that was both gruesome and that was a little funny. How he's like, we can't just do like that. Nah, let's not do that. I just love that. We see him going in there because the hands are tied to it, so he can't get loose right from the door. And you see her, it's like, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, and then you can see and we hear the crushing sound, the bones breaking and so on. He dies. I assume he dies, right? And then she beats. I loved her doll. Her doll on the ball. Yeah, the Karakuri on top of the. That was a lie. I love the design. Yeah, with the throwing the ball thing. That was great. I wish the band was longer in that sense because I really liked its. Its design. It had a really good how it looked and so on, the color and everything. But otherwise, it's probably longer in the manga, right? But she beat him pretty easily. Took back the balls, threw it back at her. I don't mind it that much otherwise. I felt that. Yeah, okay, it might be longer in the manga, unless it's much longer in the manga and they skipped out a lot of stuff. But I felt that battle was actually pretty to the point though. She threw the balls, she easily you captured them right and threw them back, easily. So I felt that's pretty fair because it shows her being so much better than the opponent. So I feel it actually wasn't that it wasn't too fast in my opinion. But I did like the doll design though. So I that I wanted to be longer. And also, again, this anime is really brutal. It's really brutal. You definitely feel how the anime is much older, right? As a manga. And that's episode 1. The art style and so on. But also kind of the art style. Not just how good the animation is, but also kind of how they are, the aesthetic and so on. It feels way older. But also then, just face it, the less PC, whatever, less censorship, whatever, and so on. That is kind of the era. You feel it's she throws back the boss at that other lady. Do we have her name? I don't think we got her name. Maybe we said at the beginning, whatever. I can't remember her name. I don't think we even mentioned it. Maybe I missed it out. But honestly, whatever. The woman then on the, with the ball, yeah, with the ball, the clown on the ball doll, and it throws back at her, right, and it explodes, and we see her flying in the bomb. It's yeah, and she just dies, right. And very she dies. That looked brutal. That was whoa. That was yeah, that was a very gruesome explosion. Most enemies that just throw the bomb right. You see people oh, this is that looked brutal. And of course later, much more so, we even see him being beaten by the cane, right? We see blood flying. That was really brutal. So yeah, commented later though, but that was brutal. So that's story there, right? And then they fall into this hole. And so on, and we get flashback and so on. The whole thing I liked, how he's of course gonna let her fall down. He just say he was like, we are a team, we're gonna stay together, so on. Of course, he's a good guy. Takes the fall for her. That's probably the longest scene in the manga, but I felt that was pretty good pace anyway. What I wish more of though, and probably more of that, right? What I want to have more of is her backstory. Yeah, that backstory is interesting. But there wasn't much of it. You see her backstory, and it was. It's very short. I guess the point here is that she thinks that oh, I am just a doll. They trained me when I was a kid. They beat me up with those canes and they punched me around and kicked me around the floor and so on, right? And they were like, you have to be this kind of become the doll, right? You can turn this doll. You have to become it, yeah, fuse with your weapon and your art and so on. Right? That is you now, and so on. And she's talking about him, and I'm not a human, I'm just a living weapon, so that's your living doll. But yeah, I'm that kind of person. And he's all no, you're a woman, I like you, you're attractive, and all of that good stuff. You will make any man happy. Don't call yourself a doll, and so on. Right? It's kind of that kind of is the the context of it, right? So in that sense, the flashback does what it's supposed to do, because you do see her being beaten up as a kid, so you do understand where she's coming from, the kind of dark past, how they force her into this whole thing, right? And that her mentality is kind of from that. So then later on, she's grown up. She's kind of no, I don't have. She has very low self-worth and so on, right? So all of that, it's. I think that was good. I think it was good. But I still want to see more of her flashback. And hopefully we get more of it later on, right? So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is way longer in the manga. But at the same time, I could see them just adding on the flashback more later. Maybe manga did the same thing, and they just had like a few pages of her backstory, and then they also added on, more pages with her backstory. But there's definitely more to that backstory for sure, right? Because it's from as an anime viewer only. I mean, I know that at least the lady, right, that kind of punched her or beat her up and so on. She's in the opening, so she could be some, evildoer, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all if she is gonna appear later in the anime, being with one of the, not necessarily these two evil teams, but just more, antagonists later on, right? And of course being like masterful, old master of the puppetings and being pure evil and so on. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So she's probably gonna be in the anime eventually again, or at least in the flashback. But very high potentially, I feel that she could be, in a coming anime, right, for her to be it. Or maybe someone else. Maybe the flashback would ask about the characters, and she's gonna see that, oh, this other woman, she was trained in the same place as me, and it might be something else. So there's a lot of potential how that could go, and we also saw, of course, two other ladies in her flashback, but they all seem to be kind of, less important to kind of be the background characters at the training place. So they probably have no importance, but they might as well, of course, appear as enemies and so on, or probably not allies, but they might, right? That's kind of the story, and of course he's kind of dying because of laughter. Yeah, that was really funny too. I love that. And he's so much laughter, and he does that thing, and she's like, "No, it's not funny." And we see him thinking like, I'm at the worst woman ever to get a laughter from. Yeah, she's gonna kill me now. Yeah, she's gonna be the one that murdered me. So that was great. I love that. That was really funny. That story was there. And I think the story worked. I wanted more of her backstory, but I'm not gonna say the episode was bad for that. I think the episode was great, and I think you could add more of her backstory at any moment, right? But it fits, right? So that's something else. Then we have kind of this other story, right, with surviving evil old grandpa thing, and that was freaking horror. I mean, I like this anime because it's both like this really bad action, badass action. It's really cool action, right? It's really got cool abilities, and they use the dolls to fight, and even his martial arts pretty cool, pretty brutal. All of that, explosive people dying, and that guy crushed sword. So all that's great. But the other story, it's like a freaking horror story, right? And this anime does it all the time. It's like, it's really cool, but at the same time, man, it's really horrific. And it's like, and also in that typical horror way. Not just like it's horrific at people dying and so on, but more like, weird clown enemies and like this, like, all like uncanny valley machinery dolls, and it's all this weird stuff, right? And this episode was like a lot. That story of him, of the old man, was all like, you're being fired. Like it's weird staring at him. He tries to go to the bathroom, right? It's like following him, like, I will help you. And then he gets the book and then reads kind of like, my father and the whole, they try to betray him, and you kind of get the general. But then also again something that there the anime probably skipped out some parts, learning about his father and their family. But at the same time, I feel that I don't know that the anime might have skipped out a little too much. But I think generally that they are like, here's some truth about the family, right? And then we probably get more of that later on. So I think that's kind of like a teaser for the whole story, right? So I think that was pretty fine. But when I was reading it, I mean, my point was mainly when I was reading it, suddenly you see that that face, I was like, man, it's a freaking horror story now. Yeah, a horror anime. So that was interesting. And after that, we had the beating. That beating was brutal. You see a little kid getting like beaten with a cane, and his blood is flowing. And yeah, very, very brutal anime. And again, I love that with the anime. Not only I love seeing kids getting beaten up, but I mean, like how many animes does this these days in that kind of style too, right? And that kind of more authentic style, I feel. Yeah, and it feels like, it feels like down to earth, brutal, right? In another way than other anime does it. And because otherwise, it's like Goblin Slayer like season, right? Which I think is a pretty good anime, it's pretty fine. When the kid goblins there, and that's brutal in a sense, but it also is very much like, blood, and then, it's like an explosion. Yeah, it's like very bloody. Here it's more like, it's a kid getting beaten up, and it's like this perfect amount of it. It looks really bad, and it also looks like real. It looks like this is how some kid gets abused or get kidnapped, and it feels really authentic. So I really like that. I really like that. But after that, though, there was my only big issue with the episode, or big issue, but my only real issue, because it's very clear, right? After that scene, suddenly they are watching them from a monitor, right? Or several monitors, and that was really weird. So that was strange to me. After he beats them up, suddenly the audience at a control room, and like, I don't mind him having a control room. I don't mind his mansion having, of course, cameras and so on, like, yeah, pretty classic. But there you suddenly there, right? He was beating him up in this like basement thing. Oh yeah, okay, I have to say that too. If I have been nitpicky, it was a little weird how suddenly went from kind of the top beautiful floor of the mansion, suddenly down this like basement. Then it looks like a horror movie suddenly. That was also a little weird, but that was like whatever. I guess he got down to another floor. Like okay, whatever. That doesn't really matter so much. But then after that scene when he gets beaten up, yeah, then they're just at the monitor control rooming at the top again. So the kid kind of teleported to another room, right? I felt like that was strange. It should have been a scene in the middle there, intermission scene where he's like, I'm like, hey, let me go and show you how you get beaten up and so on. And even if he talked about it and so on, he just went so quickly. I mean, we saw them being beaten up, and then back to them. Next scene, they're already there, right? So it should be like a scene where he's like, okay, let's go there, and we see them walking in talking like he's grabbing him, like forcing him to move away, maybe pulling him, was just like something there to kind of give the feeling of okay, they are moving from A to place B and have to move between place, the basement, the staircase, some kind of scene like pulling him in the staircase, use something like that to give the feeling of okay, they moved from there to there, and now it's like look at them dying or whatever, right? Like. But it was kind of weird because they are there, and then suddenly, not only are they at the monitor room, they are already looking at the monitor, be like, "Wow, that's happening! You're dying!" Yeah, they're not even like "Oh, this is the monitor room, and look at them dying there, or at them fighting," or it's also been presented. They just you're just watching them suddenly on TV. Yeah, just jump to them, already having entered the room and already looking at it. So that to me was. That was a very obvious cut from the manga, right? They probably removed several pages there, maybe even a chapter between them. Oh, I guess probably like 5 to 10 pages, and that was very noticeable, and it was weird. So that to me was that is a minus. You can't look from that though. After that though, we get the whole resolve thing and the ice. That was a great ending there. So yeah, I mean I like the episode generally, but you can't really. I mean I have to both say I'm an honest review, right? That was been my thing, and I really love the episode, but. That scene obviously was very weird how they just jumped into that, and I think a very important thing here as the narration is that they didn't just enter, right? Because if they had went from A, suddenly they were at B, and like no intermission scene, but he's like opening the door like this is the control room, look at this camera, they are losing over there or whatever, right? Something like that. That would have made it more like, oh yeah, they're at that place. But now they are already watching, right? They're already at the camera, reacting to what's happening at the camera. So they have like, yeah, I think that made it even more. It felt very, very like it's thrown in there. So that's a little weird. But I think particularly because it was like that. If they had entered the kind of presented room, you see, I mean, it's like 10, 20 seconds. I think a few sentences. That would have made it more for the brain to kind of register, and then we see that same scene, and I think it would have flown much better. And I think I have to say that because it was very, very eye-catching how suddenly we're there. It felt weird. It felt like they missed the scene there, yeah. But then we get to the songs I mentioned again, and that was great. So I think generally the episode for me is still like a 9 out of 10, almost 10 out of 10 still though. I think the episode was really good. The high-paced thing doesn't bother me that much overall. I mean, I like it a lot. The action, yes, I think it's everything. The comedy, again, right, it's funny. It's a really, really good anime. Yeah, I would say it's a strong 9 out of 10. It would be, for me, it would be a 10 out of 10 if that scene was a little better there. Then it would be easy 10 out of 10. No, if it's a 9 out of 10. Because it has everything. The horror team, the action team, the comedy is in the middle as well, right? And even just general little stuff like we're seeing when they crash into them and we see, you know, oh my god, wow, that's the plan, this is damn good, even that kind of comedy there. And afterward, he's impressed by her catching the balls and so on. And so that. And I guess though they cut out him fighting. That I suppose so. Honestly, I don't care about that much, but I guess they did cut out him fighting the older puppet guys in the forest when he laughs at them. That is probably a fight going on in the manga, I suppose. So, but that me didn't bother me so much. But I guess that's probably a fight there. So him landing on them is probably more like predictable in the manga, in a good way probably. Anyway, hope you liked this my review of Karakuri Circus. I think it was a great episode again. Right, 9 out of 10, almost 10 out of 10. A little difference in. The anime has everything. Very, very good anime. Absolutely one of my top anime season. It's not my favorite anime. Probably favorite anime. I think so. It's art style and everything. Yeah, it's really, really amazing. Anyway, subscribe button, press that like button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with Hinamaru Suro, One Piece as well. You got the Kimia and Karakuri. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys.